Today I'm going to be pulling the motor and transmission back out of the hot rod. But before I do, I'm going to rework the cross member that I'm going to be putting in here. That's it right there. And I think what I'm going to do is rework it and then stick it back in there, tack it into place. That way when I get the motor out, it'll be in a good spot for me to weld it all in there real nice. So my first step, I think, is I've kind of got it marked where I want it modified, so I'm going to go ahead and get it out and do that. Put it back in there, set it all up, make sure I like where everything's set, and tack it in place, and then we'll go from there. It fits in good, nice. You know, you can see here where it comes into the frame at, and goes right up under the motor. But it hangs down a little low, so I'm going to basically trim it up onto the bottom and put a place on top of it to mount a rubber mount for that bell housing to sit down on. Okay, here's the cross member before. Okay, here's my cross member after I've redesigned it. Basically what I've done is I've made it about an inch shorter. It used to come down here a good bit more, and that was the lowest point on the car. So I trimmed that up about an inch, added this little shelf right here, put this rubber mount on top of it, and I dropped this down. This is actually lower by about 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch right here. This should sit right on the cast iron part of the lower bell housing, and then the transmission bolts behind it, or the aluminum bell housing, will be behind it, so that this will be supporting the cast iron. This car has a lower bell housing. It's made out of cast iron. That's part of the original Cadillac design. You can see it right there with those two bolts and that little plate there. And that's about where this rubber thing should sit, right about where that plate is. And then it has the adapter, the aluminum bell housing adapter behind that. So I'm going to put it in place, and if I like the way it looks, I'm going to spot weld it, and then we'll get this thing down off the jack stands and pull the motor out of it and get that transmission apart and see what's going on there. Okay, I got a cross member in place. There you can see it. Nice big fat rubber mount underneath it, sitting right on the cast iron part of the bell housing there. I've got it spot welded into place up here, and now I'm going to pull the motor out and I'll weld that in there a little bit more completely, and we'll figure out what's going on with that transmission, fix everything that needs to be fixed, put it all back together.